Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody, to the Sleuth Intuition channel. I'm your host, Patrick Vallejos. We are broadcasting to the world live from Phoenix, Arizona. This is our continued coverage of the Richard Allen trial. He's accused of killing Abby and Libby in Delphi, February 13th, 2017. So, things we're going to talk about today. Teresa Liebert, she's the person who reported a strange man at about 8:30 a.m. the morning of the murders. Odinism is out. The defense's new strategy, crazy when he confessed. David McCain enters David McCain. Cameras in or out of the courtroom. How is justice affected by this? Can we make a difference from the outside either way? That's what you can expect today. What's up, Boston? Good to see you. Oh, looks like we have a new member. A new old member. Welcome back, Molly. Silas, what's up? Olivia, too. Audra, hello. Miss Dog Lover. She Warrior, welcome in. Pipers, good morning. So far, so good. How's your day going? Patty, welcome in. Cindy, hello. Shane, welcome. Ghost says strong case with a question mark. He might have done it, but they shit the bed with this investigation clearly. But the question isn't, did they shit the bed when it comes to the investigation? The question is, did the prosecution present a strong case? Beyond a reasonable doubt. What's going on, Kiwi? True Crime Housewife, welcome in. Jill, good to see you. Yonder, what up? Kitty says the defense just showed 10 videos of Richard Allen to the jurors only, and they were shocked, probably banging his head and eating shit. Yep, that's their current strategy. That's what they're going to open with. They're attacking the confessions right now. So I titled that Crazy When He Confessed. Could that be true? Yeah. Could he be the killer and still go crazy from solitary confinement? In my opinion, yes. Could he be just completely faking? 100%. And that is most likely what he's doing. Why did he do it? So that they can show videos in the courtroom of him doing it. If Richard Allen is this killer, this bridge guy, he's playing chess. He's not playing checkers right now. He's been underestimated from day one. He uses it. He's using it now. Welcome in Linda and Caricature. Says, thought they'd had more. Yeah, you can't go around assuming. Got to be cautious with that kind of stuff. She Warrior, hope the jury gets the chance to see how creepy Richard Allen really seems to be. Yeah, I think it could hurt the defense. From the beginning, we're trying, our best to come up with this amateur profile. Well, at least I know I did. And when I say amateur, that's in capital letters here. But we thought, man, who could do this? Who could kill these two young girls in the middle of the day like that? Who would feel motivated to do that? What could possibly be the reasoning? Well, that would have to be somebody very sick, right? Well, that's what we're seeing, I think, in Richard Allen. But the defense is trying to say he's not sick. They made him sick so that he would look sick later and then exploit him, during his illness. So is he faking or not? I think is the question that's going to be asked amongst the juries. The jurors. Miss Doglover says, I still think the jury will convict. They seem very intelligent by the questions they've been asking. Well, what if the intelligent thing is to not convict? What's going on, Timmy? Appreciate you, Shane. Go says the prosecution put out the best case they could. They just didn't have as much as they should have due to the bad investigation. What more could they have? It's not that they didn't find Richard Allen's DNA at the crime scene. They didn't find any male DNA. So to me, that tells me cleanup. Cleanup or not much interaction physically. Maybe the only time that the killer interacted with the girls physically was during the actual, when he used the blade. Not to mention the water source there that could definitely help hide DNA, assist in covering it up anyway. What's going on, Kiwi? What's going on, V? Dixie? Dixie says, I don't care if he is crazy, convict. I mean, aren't we looking for a crazy person? The question is, did they make him crazy? Or are they bringing the crazy out of him? So the poll question is, did the prosecution present a strong case? Right now, it's, I don't know, 58% say yes, 42% of you say no, and we've had almost 100 votes. That seems like reasonable doubt. But the question is, we all have bias, right? I don't care what you say. We all have it. The question is, can you set that aside? And I think that's what we strive to do here on this channel. Of course, we have our biases. We don't hide them. But can we set those biases aside? It's not an easy thing to do. Yonder says his wife wasn't there either today. Really? Yeah, we're going to go over that recap here in a minute. But I want to see what you guys have to say first. Thanks, Truffle. We got a super chat. What about the computer that was owned by Kathy's brother? Richard Allen had access to it. Yeah, maybe more mistakes by the investigation. We're going to go into Conspiracy Town today as well. Unless you guys want to do that first. All right, we'll go into Conspiracy Town just for a little bit. And then we'll read the recap. I'll ask you guys what you think about the Odinism. David McCain, and cameras in and out of the courtroom. Doesn't matter. But first, let's go to Teresa Liebert. This is going to be somewhat of a conspiracy here. A lot of speculation. So there's your basic layout of the area. This white line represents the private drive. So at 8:30 a.m., there's a reporting of a strange man here. 8:30. Does it matter? That I don't know. But the first thing that popped into my mind was this. So in Peru, the morning of the murders, February 13th, at 8 a.m., at the Klein home, the Anthony Shots account logs into 2 separate phones at the same time at 8 a.m. According to Bing Maps, it takes 35 minutes to get from where Richard Allen's mother was staying to Delphi. 35 minutes. "8 a.m., log in, log out. 8:30 a.m., strange man reported near the private drive." No way. Thank you so much. All right, let's hear it. What's up, Dragon Keeper or Sensei Wackadoodle? Good to see you, Sensei. Yeah, that's nasty. But the thing is, it seems to be working. He's giving it's as if his defense attorney said, give us something to work with, man. Jeez. He's like, okay, I got you. I know exactly what I got something lined up for you. I don't know, Linda. I really don't think he cares. At one point, I thought he would plead out, but now I can see he has absolutely no remorse. If his wife tells him to keep fighting, he's going to keep fighting. The moment she says, confess, if you did this, I want you to confess. Tell the world what you did. He would do that. I believe that. Good, Miss Doglover says, forgive me for going off topic, but I'm so pleased to say that after 7 months of major disability due to an MS relapse, I'm so much better, walking well. At one point, I couldn't even stand up. No, celebrate that. Congratulations. How about the brother-in-law's computer? What's up, Andy? The prosecution far outweighs the defense. Well, the defense hasn't even gotten started. Right now, it looks like their strategy is crazy when he confessed. That's what they're going for. Like, did he confess? Yes, we can't hide that. Why did he confess? Well, look at him. He's rolling around in his own food and his own feces, and he's doing other nasty stuff. We all know about the mamas don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. So either he's really crazy or he's really sick. And it can be both. Like, he's never been to prison before. He could be the killer and also be going crazy. What's up, Christine? Homie, don't play that. Welcome in. Good to see you. Cindy Lane, how you doing? I will tell them what I know is a pretty strong statement. Yeah. If this becomes too much for you, ugh. Yeah, just thinking about that. That's crazy. Like, how do you do that and not just, not be crazy? But just because you've gone crazy or you're suffering from psychosis doesn't make you an innocent person. But unfortunately, I think it will weaken those confessions. And I said that from the beginning, you guys, that you know how I feel about confessions and how the human mind works. You can make innocent people confess. And sometimes innocent people don't need to be coerced, they just do it. People are weird. Everybody has their own motivating factors and bias. I wish they'd laid out the timeline and told the story better to grip the jury with how and what, maybe at closing. I think they're hitting what I feel like what they're trying to create is a contrast. You know, we're going to hit you with something that's completely different than what we expect the defense to present. It's going to be a complete contrast. So we're going to hit you with just these facts, how they tie Richard Allen in, and then we're going to rest our case. So you're going to have like this solid straight line. And then here comes the defense. It's going to be like kind of all jagged and up and down with speculation, trying to create doubt, basically conspiracy town. And there's going to be this contrast there. That's what the prosecution is going for, in my opinion. What's up, Black Cat Moan? Choo choo. Chugga 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 chugga. Shane says, a woman told me today I've no evidence. There is no evidence about Odinism in the case. She fried my brain. What's up, Fight for Justice? Melissa Wildcard. Dave G. Good to see you, Laura. There you go. Grunge Truck, what's up? He didn't sound crazy in the police interviews. He sounded intelligent, though. Chopper, what's up? All right. So, what do you guys think about the conspiracy? Let's put that back up there. All right. So at 8:30 a.m. the morning of the murders, pretty much right where the private drive begins, and there's a gate right here. Sometimes it's locked, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they just wrap the train around this post, a wooden post. So that's pretty early in the morning. But remember, Richard Allen is coming from Peru, according to him, right? Well, from the location he was staying in Peru to Delphi is a 35-minute drive, give or take, right? That's probably if you're going the speed limit. We know he has a few speeding tickets. Zipping around that little hatchback. But one thing that's interesting, at 8 a.m. at the Klein home, the Anthony Schatz account was logging into two separate devices. None of them were Keegan Klein's actual personal phone. Log in, log out. Log in, log out. 30 minutes later, a strange man is being seen at basically the beginning of the private drive. This is a page from Keegan Klein's transcript once they finally arrested him. Here's a question. Okay, well, on February 13th, this would have been logged in a little bit earlier. So that would have been 8 o'clock in the morning at your house. And here they put the Canal Street. They don't live there anymore. Okay, where you and your dad lived. Two separate devices. See the numbers here, how they're the same? Log in, log out, log in, log out. One device, log in, log out, all within minutes of each other, to the same Anthony Schatz Snapchat account. What two devices were these? And throughout this whole transcript, there's two devices that they're very interested in. What two devices were these? It's as if they don't know. They have all the forensics that they need, but for whatever reason, throughout the transcript, well, specifically one device that they're looking for. So I just thought we'd throw that out there. See what you guys have to say about that. Let me zip down here to the bottom. What's up, Jay? Jerry, welcome in. Don't worry, we're just fooling around here at the beginning. Somewhat. What's up, right field? What's with the InfoWars? We're doing a conspiracy hour. When is Doug Carter testifying? I don't think he will. What's up, Lorraine? Good to see you. Paradox, all is well, thank you. Hope you're well. What's up, Loxy? Betsy Ross. Okay, you think that was something that kind of sealed the deal? I think it was very strong. I think the defense is going to attack Weber's credibility. I think they've already done a good job of it. Well, not his credibility, but just his recollection of what happened that day. Esme. Is it logical or illogical? Black Cat says he had to be sick to kill two little girls, so eating his own poo isn't a stretch. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're trying to convince this jury, like, hey, this guy was insane. Look, he's eating his own shit. You know, of course he's confessing. He would confess to the Kennedy assassination. But that's not what he did, you know? He didn't confess to being God or having magical abilities. He confessed to murders that he was accused of. But I think the defense needs to be careful. We're looking for a crazy person, right? Who in their right mind would kill two young children middle of the day on a Monday in a public place? We're definitely looking for a crazy person. So if you show Richard Allen rolling around in his own feces, you're showing us an image of what we're looking for, a madman. Ghost says the state lost me with the van personally. So it had like a reverse effect on you. There you go. That's true, Jay. I don't care who you are. People will scrutinize you, they will criticize you. They'll say you're guilty. Why'd you get an attorney? But that's just talk. Getting an attorney and not cooperating are two different things. You know, if you get an attorney yet you refuse like a polygraph or you refuse to give your DNA, hair samples, then you're not cooperating. Jill, good to see you. I think the defense is just grasping at straws. They are. What's up, Purple Haze? Hope you're having a good day. CJK, how you doing? Nobody pulls the wool over the eyes of a Gambini. All right. You guys want to hear a confession?
What? At what point did you shoot the clerk?
I shot the clerk.
Yes, when did you shoot him?
I shot the clerk.
Hey, Dean, you need your...
I shot the clerk. Hey, welcome, Purple Haze. Welcome to the Sleuth Crew. Annabelle Higgins says, this jury seems tuned in and appears to have common sense, so I hope that will show in the deliberations. Yeah, but is it common sense to say that there's not enough, that there is reasonable doubt? It's almost obvious that he's guilty, but is he, you know, is it for sure? In my opinion, there's plenty of evidence against Richard Allen to sentence him to life in prison. And it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the confessions. I told you guys from the beginning, throw them out. And the only reason the prosecution wants to keep him in is because it's kind of like kicking a man when he's down. They already had the knockout. But why not just kind of put the cherry on top and push for the confessions? So I don't think they need him or need them to convict him. So right now it's like the defense is just fighting. What's the word? Pyrrhic? It's a Pyrrhic victory. Like the damage has already been done. And so they're basically just wasting time. Angela, it depends. I think we can believe some. We have to take them into context. I think the one that we can believe is the one that actually sounds correct. The one that he told to person that that he trusted, somebody that sympathized with him and was actually on his side. Like Dr. Walla was a pro defense. She was like a pro Allen. Those were the types of social media groups that she would join, are these pro defense groups. Like she really felt for Richard Allen, you know. She's like, oh, you're a prisoner of war. Gave him a book from a guy who was in a concentration camp to help people cope with being, locked up. So the one person that cared about him in there is the person he gave the most detailed confession to. I think what he wanted something to happen. In one of his confessions, he says something like, I feel like nobody's being honest with me. He asks his wife, Kathy, can I even trust Brad and Andy? She says, yes, there are attorneys. He's probably thinking, well, if I can trust them, why is it so hard for me to confess to this crime? Told his mom, he told his wife, he told a woman who had gained his trust. He wrote a letter. Like, what else does this guy have to do to confess? Welcome in, MF Witchy Widow. Cheryl? Crazy or more likely evil? Who ran out of time and got spooked? It's true, Betsy. And there wasn't a whole lot of DNA at the crime. Why? Because he got spooked. I mean, it all makes sense. Andy says Richard Allen mentioned losing a bullet before it was known about. No, that's not true. He was told about the bullet from day one. The day he was arrested, Holman told him, like, dude, we got a bullet, matches your gun. We know that you had something to do with this. I don't know if Weber has an alibi. How can he be there scaring the killer without possibly being the killer? He would have to prove that he was somewhere that's a certain time. It takes 10 minutes to get from that place to where you were at that very moment to make it, mathematically impossible. Because remember, it's not that they don't have Richard Allen's DNA. They don't have anybody's DNA. There is no male DNA there. So it doesn't matter what male suspect they put in front of us. We're not going to have DNA tying them to the crime. So it doesn't eliminate Richard Allen, is what I'm trying to say. Doesn't eliminate anyone. Hey, what's up, Linda Marie? And this is a good point as well. Linda says, how he lost his mind after seeing Discovery. Seems like a convenient time to go nutty. Yeah, he was trying to flush it down the toilet. The warden was worried that other inmates would, see the paperwork. What's going on, Phil Bond? Steve says, not once did Richard Allen mention his daughter in any of the confessions. Pretty telling. Actually, I think he did. I think he said something along the lines of, I'm pretty sure that I touched my daughter. And then he even told his companion that he got an erection about it in his sleep. So I don't know if he dreamt about it or something. I don't know how those two things happen at the same time unless you're dreaming. But it sounds like and then later on he says, I think, I don't know. And in another confession, his wife says, are you dreaming again? Are you having nightmares again? Yeah, all it takes is one, Betsy. Yeah, the timeline. The timeline is solid. They got the Hoosier Harvest Store video that apparently is really clear. You have Richard Allen saying, well, yeah, I parked here. Coming from Peru, you would be traveling from east to west. On 300, the vehicle was traveling from east to west. If you were snooping around the private drive and decided to take the back road, you would be coming from east to west. Tina Stare. I think jury knows he's guilty. I think the jury knows he's guilty. So we're basically at the halfway point. And right now the defense is trying to say, well, yes, he confessed, but he was crazy. They put him in solitary confinement longer than any man should ever be put in solitary confinement. They made him crazy. They drove him crazy. Listen to the confessions. These are not confessions. These are a man trying to tell his wife that he is sick. But then you have the companions who are saying, well, he only did it. He only acted like this when we were looking at him. And also he only acted that way after he got his discovery and after he met with his defense attorneys. Remember, he met with them for the first time and they took that photograph of him. They opened up his shirt to make him look all pathetic. So it appears coached from where I'm sitting. Oh, yeah. You guys want to see that? Badass. Good to see you. Yeah, I guess there's some protesters out here. Here, check this out. Like, this is weird. Disbar Judge Gull. And then this one here. Allen is innocent. What up, original badass? Thank you, MF Witchy Widow. Good to see you, Mary. Imagine having as much evidence as they have on Richard Allen, on, like, let's say, Brad Holder, Patrick Westfall, Elvis Fields. Imagine if you found out that Elvis Fields was at the trails at the time the girls were murdered. A vehicle that matches his vehicle was seen on the Hoosier Harvest Store camera. During his confession, he mentions a van that spooked him. Now we know that right at that very moment, the person who lived right near the crime scene was coming home in a van. If you tied all of that evidence that they have against Richard Allen to their own quote unquote POI, I think that's the best way to put it into perspective right there. Remove Richard Allen's name and put the person you think actually did this. Put all of that evidence and all of that information against them, and then you will see how guilty Richard Allen is. The court thought he sounded like BG. Yeah, the officer that was put in charge of evaluating his confessions and his phone calls says that after listening to 700 hours of Richard Allen, he can say with 100% certainty that the bridge guy audio belongs to Richard Allen. I thought that that was huge. It's those little things like that that can affect the jury, I think. You know, to us, I don't know, we're too close to the case, but for them, everything is like a bombshell. What's going on, Sparky? All right, let's go into this recap here. Start at the bottom this time. Yeah, I hear you on that one, Mary. Yeah, Cindy, I mean, is that what a loving, concerned daughter does? Or is that what a daughter who is not sure? Like, shit, maybe my dad did do it. Or can we not judge at all, you know? It's up to them how they're going to respond. What's up, Janet? His confession to his mother and wife seems to me are asking for forgiveness from them. Will you still love me? Yeah, he used the word regardless, like with the question mark, regardless. I agree with that. I feel like if his wife or mother said to him, Richard, if you did this, I want you to tell them we're going to love you no matter what. If you're guilty, we still care. We still love you. What you did was horrible and you're going to pay for it, but we still love you. Okay, so this is going to be yesterday's recap. A lot to go over. Okay, let's start here. At 9:01 a.m., the jury entered the courtroom and the court is back in session. Judge Gold tells defense attorney Brad Rosie that they will chat about his motions he filed on transports during the lunch break. And those have been approved. Gold says the jury has once again had supervised contact with their electronic devices. The defense calls Christopher I call him Goatee. And the state immediately calls for a sidebar. The sidebar lasts 9 minutes. Goatee tells the jury he is a Hammond, Indiana police officer and has a background as an EMT. Says he has training in interviewing witnesses and suspects. Defense attorney Jennifer Auger asks him about the importance of correctly documenting interviews. Goatee says he was with an FBI gang response task force, or GRIT. They focused on kidnappings. Now, remember, guys, about 3 years ago, we did a live stream on GRIT, focusing in on Michael Peasley. You guys know Michael Peasley, right? Let me see if I have something. No, I don't have anything on him. But he's the gray-haired FBI agent with a little goatee. Looks super serious all the time. Goatee tells the jury that Grit assisted with the Delphi investigation by canvassing neighborhoods and conducting interviews. He says he worked on the investigation for over a week. Goatee says he spoke to Brad Weber during the investigation. Auger asked Goatee what Weber said about where he went after work on February 13th. Auger asked Goatee what an FBI 302 is. Goatee says, it is a report from an interview. Auger shows him an exhibit, which is an FBI 302 report from his interview with Weber. Goatee says he spoke to Weber on February 19th. He tells the jury that he doesn't know what Weber said, despite looking at his own report. Auger finishes her questions. The state does not cross-examine. So I noticed the state did that a lot. It's like they didn't even care about any of these witnesses. They're like, nope, we're not going to bother the jury with them. We don't even care. At 9:27 a.m., the defense calls Dr. Deanna Dwanger. Dwanger tells the jury that she oversees the Department of Behavioral Health at the Indiana Department of Corrections. She says she has been director of the department since 2021. Dwanger says that her main job is to oversee the IDOC's contract with the contractor who actually does the employing for the IDOC's behavioral staff. Dwanger tells the jury that she generally knows who Richard Allen is. She confirms that Allen was transferred out of the Westville Correctional Facility. She says the solitary units at Westville and the Wabash Valley Correctional Facility are similar. She says she has not personally met Allen and did not make a decision to move him and does not know who did. Dwanger says that Dr. Monica Walla, the assigned psychologist for Allen, told her after she was assigned to Allen that she had a special interest. Special interest? Dwanger tells the jury that Walla told her about listening to Delphi podcasts and recommended it to her in early 2023. Reporter note, Allen went to Westville at the end of 2022. Dwanger says she knew that Walla had visited the Monon High Bridge, but says it was before being assigned to Allen. Dwanger tells the jury she thought it was unusual to visit the crime scene of someone you work with, but said that Walla talked to her direct supervisor about the issue more. The state requests another sidebar about the use of the words crime scene. Dwanger tells jury she is familiar with Dr. Martin and that he is a psychiatrist and administers medication. She says Dr. Martin is no longer working at the IDOC. She says Allen was assessed in Indianapolis and was assigned a D code in mental health. She explains that a D code means a person that would benefit from specific and personal therapy treatment plan. Dwanger tells the jury she doesn't know if there's ever been safe keepers in either Westville or Wabash Valley. She says she doesn't know why he was assigned there. She says she knew there was video cameras in his cell and that worried her. She said she recommended that the video be removed, but it didn't happen. Dwanger tells the jury that solitary confinement can impact mental health and that it is not unreasonable to think being in solitary would have a negative impact over time. She says 30 or more days of solitary happens only if the inmate is severely mentally ill. She tells the jury the 30-day rule exists to keep people from being in there too long. Dwenger tells the jury that Allen was gravely disabled. She explains the difference between mental health monitoring and mental health treatment. She says treatment is more focused on actual therapeutics. She says that the therapeutic setting at Westville was not ideal. I think they meant not ideal. Dwenger confirms she was on a team that discussed Allen's care, though was not directly treating him. So I think that's big. She's never really met him. She never really directly treated him, but yet she's, upset about the cameras. Because I think this is huge. If you have a doctor talking to a jury and they're telling him, like, yeah, this is fucked up the way they treated this guy, but yet she never directly treated him and she never even met him. She described herself as sounding board for those who were. The state requested another sidebar after Rosie asked Dwenger about solitary confinement for mentally ill patients. At 9:56, Rosie ends his questioning and prosecuting attorney Stacy Diener begins her cross-examination of Dwenger. Prosecution's attorney Stacy Diener. Dwenger confirms Allen was not severely mentally ill and began to decompensate until he was in the Westville Correctional Unit. She says he was first contacted about Allen in April of 2023. She says that's when his core team was formed. The first contact she described was coming from Dr. Walla asking if Allen could have a meeting with his wife. Dwenger tells the jury that at that point, Walla told her that Allen was faking it, which he probably is. Dwenger tells the jury the team was called an MDT, a multidisciplinary team. She explains that gravely ill means you aren't able to take care of yourself. She says it got to the point where it didn't matter if he was faking it, and they needed to intervene. Dwenger explains Haldol shots to the jury. She says it helps with psychosis symptoms and being gravely ill is a symptom of psychosis. Rosie objects and says it was a leading question. At 10:04 a.m., Diener ended her cross-examination and Rosie began his redirect. Diener asked for a sidebar. Reporter notes judge looks frustrated. State objects again after Rosie asks another question. Both end and the jury asks questions. Question 1. Does the DOC ever place safekeepers in general population? Dwenger says yes. Question number 2. Could it be possible Allen was faking so he would not be moved to general population? Dwenger says it was possible, but don't know for Allen. Question 3. Did you hear threats to Allen from other inmates yourself? Dwenger says no. Question 4. Could a person slip in truth of a confession, even when faking it? See, that's the point I try to get across to everybody. That's a good question. Dwenger says it is hard to tell, but yes. She says you can tell if people are faking it based on the organization of thoughts, if the conversation is goal-oriented and chronological. She says Allen was not having delirium. That's big. That hurt the defense right there for sure. This would have been a good witness, but the jury they're asking very important questions, and the answers are not good for the defense. Question number 5. What is the typical process for safekeepers with severe mental illness? Dwenger says the same as general. Question number 6. What is the primary obligation to a safekeeper working with an inmate with severe mental illness? Dwenger says same as general. All right, let's catch up a little bit on the chat. See what you guys think about the strategy of the defense. I think the jury is kind of seeing through it, right? Based off the questions they asked. Good to see you, Miracle Hearts. Stop that right now. Little one says Weber was highly sus and was grilled by law enforcement. He also has mental issues. Hoping he didn't lie when interviewed by law enforcement on the beginning, trying to cover his derriere. Blakey Tube. Sleuth, what are your thoughts on his confessions about CSA on himself and him of others? I think that's all true. Just wondering if KA and his family knew about it. If not, that's very confronting. I don't know what to make of that. Like I said, he could be going crazy. He could be faking symptoms. He might even be doing a little bit of all of it. Thank you, Jane. So I really don't know. I think you're talking about those names he was mentioning. What was it? Kevin, Chris, and Don. And Chris is his best friend. I don't know what to make of all of that. What's up, Ginger Snaps? Yeah, remember he confessed to his wife and his mother before he saw the discovery. So he's trying to confess, and then all of a sudden he gets a visit from his attorneys, and his attorneys are telling Richard Allen, like, look, your wife is with you. She's standing by you. She doesn't think that you did this. We know you didn't do this. We can get you off of this. And all Richard Allen hears is your wife is standing with you regardless, you know? She doesn't want you to be confessing. She wants you to stop it. She knows. So at this point, they're kind of holding his hand, I think. Like she knows that they're driving you crazy. She knows that you're mentally ill because they put you in prison. She knows that. She knows that they're making your mind sick. So he's, kind of leading him. He's like, okay, so that's our game. So I need to just act sick because my wife is upset that I confessed. The only way to undo the confessions is to act like I was crazy, and that's why I said them. Now, people are asking, why would he do that? Well, the reason why is what we're seeing right now playing out in the trial so that they can use it. The defense is using, plan to use his confession. So he's doing what I would be calling a countermeasure. What's up, Vic? Is that Sleuth with the disc sparkles? Oh, God. Shit. Let me put that back up there. I didn't even see the resemblance, but I kind of do now. Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Sorry, guys. I had to go out there and fight for the truth. We all know that Gull is an Odinist. She's an Odinite. She's a 88-degree Freemason. She's got to go. This sign's not as nice as the other one. She wrote the Allen very aggressive. Allen. It's more like Allen. It's like she's singing it right in the middle. Oh, Vic, that was fucking funny. No, that's not me. Hey, Roy, what's up? Yeah, she does. It makes her look bad. I agree with that for sure. And I said this yesterday. It's almost like the defense team is really just defending Kathy Allen. Like it's her, she's the one that's keeping Richard Allen from confessing. So Richard Allen doesn't even have a defense team. Kathy Allen does. She doesn't want him to go to jail. So they're fighting for her. Richard Allen just wants somebody to be honest with him. That's why he keeps saying, I want to let her go. I'm doing this for her. Because in his mind, he probably killed the girls because of her. Think about it. The day before Valentine's Day, your wife finds out that you're a sexual predator and a murderer. Or if he wouldn't have killed them, he would just have been a sexual predator. That'd be one hell of a Valentine's Day gift. So he killed the girls to keep that from happening. All right, let's continue on here. At 10:40, court is back in session. There is an immediate sidebar. And this is wishtv.com, by the way, guys. They have a live blog of the Delphi trials. At 10:46, the defense calls Max Baker, who is an intern who works for the defense. He's a graduate of IU and has worked on the case since November of 2022. He tells the jury he heard Harsman's testimony. Reporter notes that at this point, Allen's wife, Kathy, leaves the courtroom with 3 others. That seems rude. I thought you weren't allowed to leave the courtroom. Baker testifies that he has reviewed most of Allen's phone calls and video from Westville. He says he was asked to compile video of Allen at Westville and put it on a flash drive. The prosecution is continually objecting. Baker says the video was given to the prosecution as part of the discovery. He says there are 2 main video formats: camcorder video and security camera video. The camcorder video is video outside of Allen's cell, and the security video is inside Allen's cell. The camcorder video has sound. The security video does not. Baker tells the jury the camcorder video did not have a timestamp. It was just put in folders with general timeline information. He says he tried to piece it together as best as possible. He explains that the incel video on the flash drive is from the 15th of every month, November 2022 to December of 2023, aside from April to July of 2023, where there is more video than just on the 15th. The defense asks to admit the video. They also show spreadsheets that explain the videos by date and time the video was taken. The prosecution objects, and there is another sidebar. At 11:31 a.m., court is back in session. Defense intern Max Baker is back on the stand. The defense immediately requests a sidebar. The sidebar lasts 10 minutes before the jury is back in the courtroom. Baker tells the jury there is an issue with the security and camcorder videos of Allen because the prosecution provided them to the defense without the needed timestamps. Rosie says, "We are dealing with what we were given by the state." Judge Gold tells the jury that they will break for lunch until 1 p.m. The defense has filed a motion today requesting an FBI special agent be allowed to testify remotely. They want Adam Pohl, who is currently working in San Antonio, Texas, to testify. They say he is a necessary witness for the defense and that his testimony will only take 30 minutes. Pohl is currently the election crime coordinator for the FBI San Antonio, Texas division. The defense says it is extremely difficult for Pohl to appear in person given his current job responsibilities pertinent to the November 5th election. He was previously assigned to Indiana. That motion can be viewed below. All right, we'll take a break right there. What's up, Frank? Next, we're going to hear from Brad Heath. Yeah, I guess we can get into that now, Linda. Okay, cameras in the courtroom, guys. Does that affect justice or just our curiosity? So, how is justice affected either way? Most importantly, without cameras in the courtroom. And even if cameras were in the courtroom, can we make a difference from the outside? So, what difference would it make whether they have cameras or they don't? How is justice and things like that being affected? Good to see you, Courtney. Cindy says, just our curiosity. Vicky D, dispute holder's testimony. Brian, welcome in. Says people perform for cameras, maybe. Yeah, especially a lot of these online trolls. But what is being affected by Goal saying no cameras? Like, honestly, what is being affected? And I know we had people like Andrea Burkhart. Is that her name? She's been like filing stuff with the courts and the Supreme Court. So, can we really affect anything from the outside, whether you're an attorney or not? So, what difference does it make if we're observing it? Or if we were able to observe it, we would then be able to do something about it. Because in my mind, it's up to the jury and the judge to make the decision ultimately, right? They're seeing everything that needs to be seen. So is it really only affecting our curiosity? Or if we see something that we don't like, could we make a difference or step in to try to change things? Cheryl says, your poll is getting tighter. Yeah, it is. 51% say yes, the prosecution had a strong case. 49% say no. What does this mean? The room is split right down the middle. Elaine, cameras could be absolutely invisible and the broadcast delay after sentencing. But for what? What's the goal? Why are cameras important to you? Sparky says, I think seeing a reaction from Richard Allen and the gallery really do matter. Body language, Richard Allen could be very telling. Telling to who? To the jury or to us? Andy says, I guess cameras would reveal the juror's identity and maybe they could be coerced by the outsiders. Well, they wouldn't be put on camera, right? Think they would be left off the camera. Did she say that? Did she say that, Molly? You told me you weren't there. I don't remember that part. Ha, CJK says lurkers taking the poll. Allen groupies. I mean, think about it. If we had a statement by Elvis Fields, he said, yeah, I was there that day. I parked at the CPS building. I saw these 3 girls, and then I went onto the bridge. Walked around for about an hour, and then I went home. Thank you, CJ. Welcome in, Vicky D. Says BH, Brad Holder. Paradox says, I believe the system should be transparent, yet I get what you are saying, Sleuth. Well, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm torn. Like, could we, let's say it was televised and something was really off, something was awful, something horrible was going on in there, a huge misjustice. Is there anything we could even do about it? Oh, we got a scrub report. If you guys could, please hit the like button. Go share this on your Twitter, your Facebook, your YouTube channel. Badass says he definitely didn't tell his wife he was on the bridge. Yeah, he may have been on the trails, but I guarantee he didn't tell her that part. And remember, the only reason he told anybody he was on the bridge because somebody saw him. Remember, Betsy Blair saw him. The only reason he said he was there till 3:30 was because somebody saw him at that time. The only reason he said he got there at 1:30 was because there were witnesses. So everything he admitted to were all the times he came in contact with other hikers that day. That's why he came forward. He's like, they're going to ID me. Some of these people might even recognize me. My wife or some, maybe some people knew that he was on the trails. I had to come forward, but I know that I took, certain steps to clean up the DNA to make sure that I wasn't seen after that. Because necessarily being seen on 300, you're not anywhere near the crime scene. You're out on the street. You already admitted to being out there. I think the better question would have been, what were you doing on 300? Okay, Mr. Allen. So you were there. You didn't see the girls. What were you doing on 300? What were you doing way over there? That should have been a question they asked him during the interrogation. Because it's almost assumed that he thinks they've already ID'd him and that they know that that's him. Give me 60 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Brian says prosecution's case is as solid as it needs to be. I would agree with that. And I feel like the defense is going to spend a whole lot of time on these confessions, and I don't think that the prosecution even needs them. I think the van helps, the fact that he's confessing about a van and he's talking about the box cutter. But they didn't need it. What's up, T Lemon? We, the people, should be able to see justice being meted out in the courtroom. So you're saying it's more just for your own viewing, your own curiosity, which is not a bad thing. In a free society, that should be something you can demand from your government. So I guess another question is curiosity enough? It's like, yeah, we're all voters, we're all taxpayers. Maybe curiosity is enough. Like, you owe it to us. You've arrested one of us, right? One of us as civilians. You owe it to us. That could be us one day. Cindy Lean says, it means not everyone is on the jury. We as a true crime community are biased. Well, I think even people on the jury are biased. But I think the question is, once again, can you put those aside? Ryan Jagger, the PC was all they had. There was supposed to be so much more. I said that from the beginning. Don't expect any more. If you can't see it, if you can't hold it, and if we can't put it on the screen, do not expect it. We heard about DNA found in a barn, something found in a garage. We heard about the girl's DNA being possibly found in Richard Allen's vehicle. So it's not the prosecution's fault that we as individuals inflated everything in our own mind. Thankfully, the jury didn't have that opportunity. Just because we overinflated what we expected from the prosecution, we can't hold that against them, and we can't take away the strength of the case that they have. Just because we have an overactive imagination. What's up, Sharon? Welcome in, Jane. Vicky D just says no. Court TV never shows juries. Oh, okay, that's what you're saying no to. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. Just put the cameras pretty much where they're at. So what they're seeing in that courtroom should be what the cameras are seeing. It's almost like the cameras are two extra jurors. Hopefully I said hi to you, Beth. If not, I meant to earlier. A lot. There was people from the Subaru crew. You had probably David McCain might have been on the bridge. Julian Powell, I think, went on that bridge. I don't know if Daniel Pearson went on the bridge that day. There was a couple dog walkers. I don't know if they went on the bridge. I doubt it if they had their dogs. I don't know. Stop that right now says there would be less chaos. I think there might be more chaos. Somebody left a comment earlier that I tend to agree with, saying that people act up, when the camera's on. So I don't know. It might have a reverse effect. That's a good point, Sparky. What's up, Kitty Cat? It's true. October 26th interrogation, Kathy said to Richard Allen, "You said you weren't on the bridge." Can somebody send that to me? I totally missed that part. So if you guys have that, send it over to me. I don't know how I missed that. Kathy Allen said that when she was brought into the interrogation room was reported by two reliable was heard to hear Kathy Allen was crying on the video also. Okay. Courtney says, well, if you or I are on trial and everyone in the system is corrupt, if it's public, there could be a big enough public outcry. Yeah, and that kind of goes to the question to the heart of the question, to the public outcry to overthrow the dictators or whatever, the big picture. And that was question number 2. Could we even make a difference from the outside? I think that's what Courtney's talking about. Right now, you only have 2 handfuls of people that are even in the courtroom. The odds of detecting corruption are going to be much greater if the entire public is watching. A lot of skilled individuals, lawyers, human rights activists, people that go to college and spend their entire life dedicated to these types of things, viewing the trial. They would know the steps to take if there was some kind of corruption or misjustice. So you guys are selling me a little bit on that. So there's some pros and some cons. I guess so, Roy. I don't know that 100% yet. I got to find the source of that information. But if that's true, I missed it. That's pretty huge. Like you told me you were on the trails, but you didn't tell me you were on that bridge. That means that she wouldn't have seen what he went, he said he went and bundled up. So she must not have been around to see that. He put on like a disguise almost. But man, that blue jacket, he was wearing that blue jacket all through the end of 2016. Gosh. Yep, that's true, Ryan. What's up, Red Sauce? It was so before the confession, but with them, it's, yep, there you go. So they don't need the confessions, but with the confessions, it's a no brainer. The jury's opinion isn't clouded by the internet BS, hopefully. So it's hard to know how they see things versus us. It's a good point. What's up, Mothra? That is in session on Saturdays. Yeah, I thought that was really strange. I think that might have been a some type of an agreement. The defense wanted a really long trial. This might have been a compromise. There's a lot of Allen groupies. And what's strange is the same people that support Richard Allen, they're the same ones that are on like the Odinism kick or the Ron Logan kick. They can't just be like, well, Richard Allen's an innocent man. It's always something else, right? It's always he has to be innocent because the Odinism stuff is right. They can't just say, well, there's not enough evidence here to convict this man and the Odinism stuff is wrong. All this other stuff is wrong. They just simply don't have enough to convict this man. You're not going to see one person who supports Richard Allen say something like that. It's always he's innocent because it's Odinism or fill in the blank. So you guys got to see the patterns there. Walks like a duck without being televised. That's true. I don't know. I'm torn. All right, so make sure you guys go participate in the poll. The question is, did the prosecution present a strong case? Right now, the room is split right down the middle. We have 51% that say yes and 49% that say no. It's like a tug of war. Diane Sommerhalder, public should be able to view judges and how they manage due process since they are elected officials. Well, I mean, everything is being made public. All the court documents are being released to the public. We have media inside the courtroom. We have public inside the courtroom. All we don't have is the cameras. So how she manages due process, some people are able to see it and report on it. The question is that enough eyes? That's a good point too. If Richard Allen's the killer, he's operating on what he thinks he knows or what he thinks he understands about the witnesses and what happened that day. And I get the feeling he's a disorganized killer. So he's going to panic during the crime, and then after, he's going to try to put all the pieces together. Who saw me? What do I need to do? What's my next step? If I do this, what will happen? Kind of like going through the cause and effect and realizing, well, I need to come forward because if I don't, that will cause them to come looking for me. What's the effect of that? Well, I become a suspect. So therefore, first thing I got to do is come forward. I need to make that countermeasure. So he's like a disorganized guy who's able to go and pick up the pieces when he can. I don't know. I don't even know if it was brought to their attention or if he just tried to keep the TV off all day. Oh, what's up, Champagne? Just for curiosity, the OJ trial. Hey, but as a member of the public, is that could be a good enough answer. Like, hey, I'm a tax-paying citizen, especially you in Indiana. Is curiosity enough? I think it might be. Like, I'm curious to see how you handle this case that's bothered me for the last 7 years. Like, yeah, my curiosity is enough. And how are you going to handle cases similar to it in the future? Will it affect justice? Maybe not. But I need to know as a voter how I'm going to vote in the future. Because if you're not, I thought you guys were doing A when really you're in there doing B. Could affect how you vote, you know? Vicky says next they want the FBI guy to testify that Brad Holder said different about. Yeah, I don't think it matters what Brad Holder said. I think they have his time card, and he used a key fob. I guess when you walk into the gym, you can just kind of scan a fob and it'll log you in. So all your information is time stamped. So, I mean, he has a solid alibi. Unless somebody else used his key fob and he's not on, they don't have video of him there or cell phone activity. Welcome in Jaded Spades. Yes, appeals to the Supreme Court judges are up for retention. Yeah, like la la la. I'm not hearing this. I'm not hearing this. Just 100% denial. Like I said, the defense is defending her, not Richard Allen. SW, why did it take so long to bring him to trial? Didn't they have everything they needed earlier before they put him in prison? Yeah, they've been waiting patiently. Everything that they presented in court so far, as far as the prosecution, is almost everything other than the confessions and the stuff that happened after. They were ready to go from the beginning. They were ready for a speedy trial. Mothra says curiosity. Every time I read your name, I can't help but think of Godzilla. Mothra! Mothra! The old Godzilla. Daily audio of the trial. This is embarrassing for Indiana. Carolyn White. Could be. But the thing about Dr. Walla is she was more of a pro defense. So if she was going to fill Allen's head with anything, it would probably be feeding into him not confessing. What's up, sweets? Liz, welcome in. Necessary Evil, welcome in. Good to see you. Scott, Metalhead, what's up? Jody Lynn. Jody says, I by no means am an Allen groupie. But if I were on this jury, I would say the prosecution didn't present a strong case. They presented a case, but in my opinion, not strong one. Why do you say that, Jody? I think that people like us who think that it isn't a strong case, I think we had maybe an overinflated idea of what kind of case they actually had. You know, we wanted it to be this spectacular slam dunk. And a lot of you couldn't believe it when I told you early on, like, they don't have DNA. You guys were like, there's no way. It's not possible. And I told you, I said, they don't have DNA. If they did, we would have heard about it. I was 100% right about that. But it's not that they don't have Richard Allen's DNA. There's absolutely no male DNA at the crime scene. No solid profile. Just like small hints of a profile. Yep, 100% Vicky. All right, let's go back to this wishtv.com live blog. This is mostly the day 13 recap. All right, court is back in session at 1:05 p.m. At 1:10 p.m., the defense called Brad Heath. Heath tells the jury he lives just outside of Delphi and is 70 years old. He worked for Reliable Exterminators and retired 5 years ago. Heath says he managed company business for the Delphi area and surrounding spots. He describes doing a job at a company called Anderson's and the scans of the building he did on February 13th, 2017. His last scan was at 2:06 p.m. Defense attorney Brad Rosie hands Heath a report he requested that shows what Heath did that day at that stop. The report refers to Heath seeing a vehicle at 8:45 a.m. the morning of the murders. He noticed it was in the same location that afternoon. He said the car was halfway down the road near the CPS building, parked about 2 feet off the road. So 8:45. I wonder, could that tie into the creepy guy seen at 8:30, perhaps? Over at the beginning of the private drive? Heath said it was an older car and looked out of place. He said he went to law enforcement a week after the crimes to tell them after he realized what happened. Heath said he talked to law enforcement a few times over the years at his own prompting. Heath said he recently spoke to law enforcement about having seen a car that looked like it was in a movie. He says the car was a four-door that looked like it was from the 80s or 90s. He said he was 150 to 250 yards away when he saw it. The defense shows a photo of a car. Heath said he had no recollection of cars being in the CPS lot or not. He said he saw different angles of the same car at different points throughout the day. The prosecution had no questions for Heath. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. At 1:28 p.m., the defense called David McCain. McCain said he lives just outside of Delphi. He says he has lived there 20 years and is 79 years old. McCain says he is a longtime volunteer and was a project manager for the Monon High Bridge Trail. Let's take a look at David McCain. So there's David. He's not that tall either. I have an old video that I had of him walking. Let's take a look at that. So there's flannel shirt guy in a flannel shirt. He's the gentleman right there with the hooded flannel shirt. The jeans that are bunched up at the bottom. Uh-oh. McCain tells the jury he went to the bridge many times as a child and started planning to develop the trail in 2013. He said he's walked the bridge many times and was out there just a month ago. McCain said he was on the trail and bridge on February 13th, 2017. He said he got to the trails around 2 or 3 p.m. and parked at the Mears entrance. He said he saw no other cars there and walked to the high bridge. He said he took photos and walked just the beginning of the bridge. McCain said the bridge is 65 feet above the water and you can see it clearly below. He tells the jury he used a camera, not a phone, to take photos that day. He said he did that for less than a half an hour. McCain said he saw a couple while there. He said it could have been before or after he went to the bridge. He said there may have been people off in the distance that he saw, but only past the couple. McCain said he was on the trail and bridge on February 13th, 2017. He said he got to the trails around 2 or 3 p.m. and parked at the Mears entrance. He said he saw no other cars there and walked to the bridge. He said he took photos and walked just the beginning of the bridge. McCain said the bridge is 65 feet above the water and you can see it clearly below. He tells the jury he used a camera, not a phone, to take photos that day. He said he did that for less than half an hour. McCain said he saw a couple while there. He said it could have been before or after he went on the bridge. So are they planning on calling this couple as well? Who's the couple? That would be this, what I call the Subaru crew. He said that evening he was at a community meeting and some emergency people said they were investigating missing kids. McCain said he became concerned about the girls and called the sheriff's office to say he was there that day. McCain said 2 FBI agents and 1 ISP agent came to his house and interviewed him. He said he gave them the photos from the camera and the SIM card. He said 2 or 3 years later, he was called and asked if he had seen a certain car in the distance of his photos. McCain said he never got his SIM card back. At 1:50 p.m., the state began their cross-examination. Prosecutor James Luttrell shows McCain a document of an FBI interview. Defense attorney Andrew Baldwin objects, saying it is improper. Judge Gohl allows McCain to look at the document. Luttrell asks him if he left at 4 p.m. or shortly after. He says yes. McCain says the man shouting at him that day was a pretty large man in a bright orange jacket. He said something like, "Have you seen the girls?" in a concerned way. At 2:05 p.m., the defense called former Delphi Fire Chief Darrell Sterrett. This is the 8th witness for the defense. And I think we're going to stop there for today. So let me close out this poll. Give you guys another minute to vote on this poll. The question is, did the prosecution present a strong case? Right now, 52% say yes, 48% say no. And by saying no, that doesn't mean that you're supporting Richard Allen. You're just saying, hey, it wasn't a strong case. Nothing we can do about it. Welcome in True Psych Ward. Did law enforcement make mistakes and do a sloppy job? Yes. Is Richard Allen guilty? Also, yes. That's the point I'm trying to make. Right there. Thank you. So if you want to vote on the poll, do it now. You have about 30 seconds. Yeah, Courtney, it's kind of like she already knew. She's almost just coaching him. Like, we already know what's going on. Just stop saying it over the phone, please. Peace in my time. Welcome in. In this case, we'd like to hear this trial more than see it, especially because of his voice. I hope not. I hope not. Welcome in, Cara B. All right, let's close this poll out. All right. Did the prosecution present a strong case? Only 51% of you agreed and said yes, they did. 48% say no. That's shocking. So before we get out of here, give me some of the reasons why you guys voted no. So if you say the prosecution did not present a strong case, can you tell me why you believe that? Oh, looks like we got Zoe Kitty out here gifting memberships. Thank you for that. Sweet says Sixth Amendment ensures everyone has a right to a public trial. While the public, very few, are allowed in and the press are allowed, no accommodations are being made for them to accurately hear. Yeah, I think there's good arguments on both sides of that. What's up, Liz? I think it's very suspicious the prosecution lost or conveniently cannot find a list or audio of the original interviews from 2017 shortly after the murders happened. Yeah, I mean, it's upsetting, but if you put any investigation under the microscope, you know, they're not going to be able to keep every piece of information. And unfortunately, they dropped the ball. Hindsight is 2020. But yeah, it's very upsetting. Welcome in Ginger Peoples and Sea King. Some choose not to report on the entire testimony, only reporting on what they think is important that goes along with their narrative of guilt or innocence and leave out the rest. Yeah, I agree with that. Like right now, there's a lot of people who they probably are going to be avoiding the Delphi trial. They're like, oh, we just wanted to listen to the prosecution, but not listen to the defense. So that's why I feel like it was important to get in here today and keep up with the trial coverage because it's all important. So good point, Seeking. I have seen that, and I do see a lot of reporters doing that. Vicky D, he met up with Libby's dad on the trail. Yep. They have his phone moving towards the Mears lot at about 3:14. So that would have been when he passed David McCain. Probably between 3:14 and 3:30. Hey, Charlotte. Yep, exactly. I agree with that paradox. Just because you don't know doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You got it, Courtney. Thanks for participating. I appreciate you. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you guys. What's up, Cryptex says weak evidence, state depending on confessions only, confessions, validity on the table, weak case. See, I disagree. I don't even think they need the confessions. I feel like right now it's the defense who is focusing on getting rid of those confessions instead of focusing on the real facts. Like where I believe the prosecution is successful is in the contrast that they've created. Their case is very solid. It's like this solid black line, There it is. That's our case. Simple, sweet. Everything points right at Richard Allen. And then you have basically the defense. It's like trying to disrupt that easiness about the prosecution's case. They're like, it's not that much of a straight line, and they're trying to turn it into a squiggly line. So it's like they don't even have a case, really. They're doing their best to unravel certain parts of the prosecution's case, but they don't have anything on their own. Well, people would say, well, that's the Odinism. Okay, well, there's rules to adding information to a trial like this. You have to have a nexus. I appreciate that. Kind words go a long way, Charlotte. I appreciate you. Strong compared to what? To our own preconceived expectations? There you go, Danielle. To a case where the guy's on video committing the killing? No. Strong enough to establish guilt beyond a reasonable doubt? Yes. Great comment. Welcome in. And that's what we have. We have preconceived, inflated expectations that we've done live streams on people going to prison for the rest of their life just off of circumstantial evidence. A lot of people were like, that's not possible. Oh, but it is. Judge Diener quit right off the bat. Huge red flag, says Chloe's mom. Well, you got to remember Diener, I think he claimed it was because of bloodlust, but he also tried Derek German, which is Libby's. He handled all of his cases in 2014. So he had many reasons to recuse himself. Plus, if you disagree that this case didn't need a special judge, I mean, we're never going to agree on that because it did. Scott says weak witness testimony. It's only weak if Richard Allen didn't involve himself, right? If he didn't say, I was there and I saw those girls, then I would say, yep, weak. But it was his own words that made it solid, in my opinion. Good to see you, Jill L. Judge Diener did not quit. He recused himself, claiming the public's bloodlust. He kind of panicked the first day they announced the arrest. People were making YouTube videos, and they put pictures of his kids on the screen. So I think he got intimidated, and he didn't want any part of that. At least that was his excuse. You know, the conspiracy theorists are going to say otherwise. That he did what they needed him to do to get the ball rolling. You know, they're going to tie that in with the mysterious folder that just appeared in somebody's drawer. But the truth is, we all have our own motivation for telling our version of the story. Because in our version of the story, we're the heroes, right? We're not the idiots that fucked up. For example, somebody's not going to come out and tell you, hey, I lost this folder, and then one day it just magically appeared, you know? But they're going to have their own reasons for telling that version of the story. And it doesn't always equate to some grand conspiracy. Though it could, you're going to need some proof for that to convince me. Otherwise, people's individual motivating factors are enough for me. Cryptex says, I disagree. Well, they have the bullet. Now they have Richard Allen saying he was on the trails. The witnesses say they saw him. He saw them. The guy they saw was the guy on the bridge. It's definitely a lot. Is it enough? In my opinion, yes. But for the jury, who knows? Missing I don't know if it's missing SW. I think the word on the street is that it was traded in for a new phone. My question is, how hard would it be to track that down? Yeah, me too, CJK. And that's all we're doing. Just trying to consolidate all the information. Cryptex says, I'm not saying Richard Allen is not involved, just that there is not solid evidence. I think there is. But I also think it depends on the jury. Sherry Wilson, Ron Logan, the lies, the cover up of his whereabouts. Hid cousin or whoever could have made the purchase and brought the fish to Ron Logan. So you're a Loganite? Danielle, I wish more people would pick up your point that the very depravity, the psychosis Allen exhibited in custody is what we'd expect from this perpetrator. Yes. I mean, I'm an amateur at it, but that was always part of my profile. We're looking for somebody with severe mental illness. And then here you have a guy in custody who's eating his own feces. There you go. We'll check that one off the box, or we'll check that box. Yep, paradox right there. Hit it right on the head. What's going on? GP, has anyone heard anything from today? Let's go check on any updates. What I was reading was the most up to date. But that was almost 2 hours ago now. So I'll take a look. Oh, they called Doug Carter. Yeah, we're gonna read this. I'll be right back, guys. I need to get some more water if I'm gonna read this. But yeah, it looks like they called Doug Carter. We'll take a look. All right, guys. Thank you for that. Let me zoom this in. I'm pretty sure Doug Carter was an octopus for Halloween, I think. Certain of it. Okay, let's see here. At 12:49 p.m., or excuse me, court returned from its recess at 11:05 a.m. After the jury entered, the defense recessed Max Baker and briefly paused the videos. State prosecutor Nick McClellan later said that he would hold on his cross-examination of Baker until the videos were watched. The defense then called Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter to testify. Carter has been superintendent for almost 12 years, said his role in the Abby and Libby case was a support role. He explained dozens of agencies were involved, including multiple nearby county agencies, ATF, FBI, and Homeland Security. Carter said the FBI stopped their involvement in August of 2021. Defense's Andrew Baldwin showed Carter an email from the FBI, which Carter confirmed to the jury was his decision to release the FBI from the investigation. He also requested the FBI return any evidence. Carter was then released from his subpoena. News 8's Kyla Russell noted that Carter was only on the stand for around 10 minutes. After Carter was released, the courtroom TV was moved and positioned in front of the jury. No one in the public seating area could see the videos being played. McClellan renewed his objection. Videos number 11, 15 were taken between May 13th and June 20th of 2023. During video number 13, Russell said Baldwin turned away, shaking his head. 3 jurors sat uncomfortably during video number 14. Defense attorney Jennifer Auger was also seen looking away. That must have been the part where he was doing something with his feces. Video number 15 was 34 minutes long. According to Russell, multiple jurors took notes, and an alternate juror appeared very surprised and wide-eyed. Baldwin was seen speaking to Richard Allen softly with his arm around him. Allen was shaking his head while also taking notes. Videos ended at 11:50 a.m. Russell said of the videos viewed, 4 contained nudity while others showed Allen being transported to receive medical care. Upon Rosie's questioning, Max Becker said he created a similar spreadsheet for security footage from inside Allen's cell. State prosecutor Nick McClellan later said he would hold on his cross-examination of Baker until the videos are watched. So I wonder why they did not ask Doug Carter why he released the FBI. Here's more on the videos, and then we'll get out of here. Richard Allen entered the court at 8:46 a.m. News 8 Kyla Russell noted he was mouthing the words with his family. His wife, Kathy Allen, was present. Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter was also present in full uniform. The courtroom TV was moved and positioned so no one in the gallery could see. According to Russell, State Prosecutor Nick McClellan objected to video of Richard Allen while at Westville be admitted, while defense attorney Brad Rosie requested the video only be shown to the jury for dignity of multiple people involved due to explicit material. So they're probably seeing Richard Allen naked, maybe even masturbating, wiping feces, maybe rolling around on the ground in his own food, stuff like that. Russell noted Kathy Allen still hadn't arrived, mentioning that she left court during Friday's session when videos were supposed to be viewed as well. After the jury entered, the defense called Max Baker, IU graduate and defense intern, back to the stand. Baker testified Friday that he was also to compile videos of Allen while in Westville and prepared another flash drive of video Saturday morning. The defense shared two exhibits, camcorder video and a master sheet for the video. The master sheet included a contains nudity category for the video. Gull admitted the videos despite objection. The prosecution had to pull up chairs and watch the video. Richard Allen cannot see the videos. That doesn't seem fair. Unless he didn't want to. The 10 videos were taken during April of 2023. One of the videos, referred to as video number 7, was nearly 30 minutes long, but Rosie sped it up, according to Russell. While watching the videos, Russell noted that one of the jurors raised their brows and looked at Allen. Several jurors were taking notes. The juror with the background as a psychologist appeared extremely interested. Allen looked down at a coffee mug at one point. Libby German's family appeared exasperated while the videos played, while McClellan seemed exhausted. Several jurors frowned during video number 7. The juror took notes, wrote something on his notepad, and showed it to the juror next to him during video number 9. I don't think you can do that. It says here, one juror took notes, wrote something on his notepad, and showed it to the juror next to him. I don't think you're allowed to do that. During video number 9, multiple jurors looked toward Allen. The last video was 52 minutes long. Rosie told the jury he would be advancing through certain parts. Defense attorney Jennifer Auger appeared deeply concerned watching video number 10. Russell observed, at one point, Auger held her head in her hand and covered her mouth during another. Eventually, she looked away. So they're like acting in there. It sounds like oh my God, I can't even watch this. Even though I've seen it like 100 times and we've scripted this entire thing. Of the jurors, Russell said one of the alternate jurors wore a sour look, while the school counselor appeared shocked. It wasn't clear to the media and public what was on the videos. As the TV faced away from them, the court recessed for a short break. All right, so that's the update so far. So Doug Carter booted out the FBI and demanded all of the evidence from them. Wonder if that has anything to do with the fuck up at the Marathon gas station and the lost tip narrative. They blamed the FBI for both. All right, guys, I'm sorry if I didn't get to your comments. If there's anything you want me to see, you think it's important for Monday's live stream on the trial, just send me an email, sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Let's welcome back Molly. Truffles, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super sticker. No way. Purple Haze, welcome to the Sleuth crew. Jane from the country, thank you so much for sponsoring today's live stream. And the two of you who got hooked up with memberships, congratulations. You can thank Zoe, Kitty for that. And all of you who continue to donate to the Cash App and the Venmo, thank you. You guys make this possible, along with all of my members and the mods. Thank you for your continued hard work and efforts to keep the chat chill. What's up, Shadow? Good to see you. So that's going to wrap up today's live stream. Replay crew, you know what to do. Leave us a comment. We'll get back to you. All right, guys, that's it. Make sure you have a safe weekend. Welcome in, Barbara. And once again, I'm very sorry if I missed any of your comments. But I'll see you again on Monday. So take care of yourselves. Peace.